on Franchise Fitness Business Secrets.
Yeah, say that 5 times fast.
Right? That's a tongue twister for sure. It took us a while to make sure it was the right thing, but now it's a little difficult to say, right?
Yeah, I feel like Forrest is going to hear this podcast and kick me off.
Or me.
Or both of us were dangerous together.
I am fired now from the podcast.
Well, it's just part of it.
So, Abbie, this is your 7th time working for IronTribe?
Yes. No. I feel like I'll never live it down.
Listen, so first of all, Abbie is a valued team member and has grown to be a great friend of mine. But with that, you have quit us a few times.
I have, yeah.
Now, you've left us on good terms. I've always welcomed you back, but it is a running joke because it's true that you have quit us a few times. So tell me about your experience. You came on as a coach right out of college, and you liked it but didn't love it.
Yeah, I think if I had advice for anyone listening right now, number 1 would be always leave on good terms.
I agree with that.
If you are going to exit, make sure that you're doing it the right way. So I graduated from Sanford. I was a softball player at Sanford and loved the weight room. I just loved it. I loved working out, and I had heard about IronTribe through former Sanford athletes and talked to Jake Wilkes and, had the opportunity to come on.
He was currently working for
Yeah, he was currently working for IronTribe, and I think it was the second day after I graduated, I started working at Mountain Brook, and I loved it. It was cool. It was awesome, but I knew in the back of my mind that I had gotten my degree at Sanford, and to what I thought was the reason was to do pharmaceutical sales or medical sales. And so I think it was 2 months into my time at Mountain Brook, had the opportunity to go try that. And I knew, I think it was within 2 weeks that I had left, tried something new, that was not it.
It did not take long.
Yes, unfortunately I found that out the hard way, and I remember falling on my sword and calling you guys and was just like, please take me back, please take me back. But knew that I wanted to be at IronTribe, and going to do something just because I thought it was what I was, wanting to do, turned out to be a blessing to be back at IronTribe. And then, was here for a year coaching, and then I left again. So, if we want to
This
go
is a pattern.
Yeah, it was a pattern. So when I came back, I got into coaching and coached for about a year.
Probably had the best manager ever.
Yes, Karen was my manager. We became besties, and
You still left me?
I did. A lot of things that played into that. I had the opportunity to move to Pensacola and work in insurance with my dad. And I knew that, I think looking back, it was the hardest but the best thing, because there were so many things I needed to learn. But I also felt like, for whatever reason, that I needed a big girl job.
I get it.
And I think that that's something we could totally unpack.
And we can put that in quotes.
Yeah,
big girl job.
Right. Now I kind of laugh at that phrase, but I wanted to, wanted to go learn things and feel like I had a big girl job. And so I ended up going to do that for about a year and a half. And then, that's when I called you.
Yeah, out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Actually, let's back up. So when you left multiple times, you were always so kind and gracious, and you left on great terms, which is, that just says a lot to your character, right? And then when you left the second time, you were quitting me directly.
Yeah.
And I remember looking at you, because I think we have a really good hiring process, right? And I feel, because of our personality test, because I'd worked with you for a year, because just of all the things, I remember looking at you and going, you're going to hate it. But I think you should do it, right? And so you go off and you come back with your tail between your legs saying, I'm glad I did it, but I hate it.
Yeah.
And you called me for coffee. We went to coffee, and you were bold enough to just say, please take me back. I don't care what the role is.
Yeah. At that point, I didn't really care about my pride. It was more so of, going through a year of living in a city I've never lived in. Personally, I was away from my boyfriend at the time, now husband. But, there were so many things that I felt like I learned through business. I knew I loved fitness, but I also was very interested in the business side of things. And so I really think, looking back now, it was kind of the perfect cocktail, if you will, of learning the business side of how to create relationships and how to, what I consider to be professional, if you want to call it that.
But you came back more organized.
Yeah.
You came back more structured, more time management skills.
I think it says more about IronTribe, though, that I had gone to learn all those things, and I came back to Birmingham, and the only place I wanted to work was IronTribe.
Yeah.
That you could see it like there's this pool of you could do whatever you want, and I kind of knew I wanted to get out of insurance. I wasn't passionate about insurance, and I'm somebody, I think most people in fitness, we're in fitness because we're passionate about it, right? It's the thing that gets us up in the morning. And so I knew that if I could couple everything I'd learned in insurance and could apply it at IronTribe eventually down the road. Because I think when I came on and we went to coffee, it was, hey, you can come on. I've got a coaching spot. I know you want to be a manager, but it's going to take a while. And I was okay with that. I was okay putting in the time that it took to eventually manage. I think it says more about IronTribe that IronTribe was the only thing on my mind when I came back to Birmingham. And I knew that if we had kept a great relationship, which we had, we even talked a little bit when I was in Pensacola,
absolutely.
That it would be a possibility to come back. But yeah, I think the idea of going back to a place, so like this is, I guess, technically on the record, my third time working at IronTribe.
Not so much.
But
it just keeps growing.
Yeah, it's something to say about IronTribe of grace and you guys investing in your people and things like that. So, yeah.
Well, it's great. But you come back on, you come as a coach, right? And then we wanted to progress you into management. You have like this electric personality that everybody enjoys. So it's one of those things, like, I think everybody on the sidelines of your life wants you to win, right? I mean, you just have this personality. I want to follow you, and I also want to lead you. It's interesting. It's an interesting dynamic to be around with you. So with that, we believed in you. We trained you. You're great at finesse. And I know you say you love fitness, but your balance is that you love people, right? I mean, you love fitness, but not in the way of like you're trying to always PR and whatever. You love that it's this great tool that changes lives. And I'm not putting that on you. But I think one thing that you kind of missed in sharing is how much you love people and what they get from fitness, right?
Yeah.
We eventually moved you into management position, and eventually y'all hear how good she is at sales in general and people and leading. But she took, in her time here, she's been on maternity leave. So she's not here right now.
I'm out of maternity leave hiding.
Don't act like I don't see her almost every day because she can't get away from us. But with that, she took one of our gyms from average 30-ish thousand a month, flipped it around to a steady 60-ish thousand a month. And then we had another gym have an incident that kind of went backwards, maybe called COVID, who knows, and put her in that gym, went to about 30,000 a month, and now it's about 80,000 a month. So there's something about you that we can plug you in a gym, you can find the holes and fix it. And I don't know that we can put that in a box, but I want you to try.
Yeah, so that's hard.
What are the three, like, what are three qualities you think, whether it's building a gym, flipping a gym, or maintaining a gym, that's just really important, that's at your core of what you need to execute?
Yeah, I think, well, first of all, everything I've learned was from you.
Stop.
And it's true.
You're leaving that on the record so that I'll, like, give you a raise one day.
I'm trying to get brownie points here, guys. When I was coaching here and I knew that I was going to be a manager one day, and we started training together, there were so many things that I feel like you empowered me with. And it was, I think, I did want to take a second just to, talk about, there was this moment in time where I was trying to learn how to manage a gym. I was trying to learn how to be a leader. I put a lot of pressure on myself. And Karen, one thing that you really did well was, it was the monkeys. And you probably talked about this on a podcast before.
I actually don't think we have yet.
It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And it's great for teaching and empowering your employees. So there's this idea that anything I had a question about, at first, it was, we talk about it, and then Karen ultimately decides the outcome. And then once you get through that phase, it's we talk about it, and then we ultimately decide the outcome together. So that's phase 2. And then phase 3 would be, we talk about it, and then I'm finally able to make that decision for myself. Whether it's a discount, whether it's a client leaving, whether it's you're trying to get class schedule, anything. I mean, anything about managing. And so through that time, I think it was
well, and then you just decide on your own. You don't even
right.
Talk to me
and then the final piece is just, you're out there and you're deciding on your own. And so going through each of those phases with you, it really empowered me to feel like it was my gym. And I know it's, they're all forest gyms, all these corporate gyms, but
they're not. It's one of our core values.
It is, and it's ownership mentality, and it's really feeling like it's your baby, right? So being able to walk into a gym, and let's say it's at 30,000, right? And you're like, this is mine. Like, you're gonna pick up the trash when nobody's looking. You're gonna do whatever it takes to take care of your baby. And when you have that mindset, and when you have leaders such as you that empower your employees to do that, and they go into their gyms and they think it's theirs, like, how could you not turn it around from 30 to 70? You know what I mean? Like, how could you not? Yeah. So how could you not put in the work in order to do that? And so
but it does still take a skill.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so when you think about the 3 skills that it takes to do that, I think you have to love people, honestly, and you said that correct.
And you're so authentic in it. You can't fake that.
Well, yeah, and I really want people to win. And you have to love people. You have to believe that what you're doing has a purpose, right? Being able to see somebody lose 30 pounds is amazing, right? It has purpose. And then you also have to have some grit. Right. Yes. And that's the hardest thing to teach, right? So being able to say, it's the end of the month, you got 3 days left. And I think it's feeling the pressure, right? How good are you under pressure? And I think that being a college athlete helped that. And being, for me, it was the bottom of the ninth. There's 2 outs. What are you going to do? You got 2 strikes. Are you going to poke it through?
What sport are we talking about?
I know. Poor thing. She's pretty. She's so pretty, y'all. And that's why I didn't want to do the video portion of this, because she's beautiful. But how can you handle pressure? Like, can you deliver when it's on the line? Okay. And so I kind of try and see that the last 48 hours of the month, right?
Yes.
And it's not just me that it affects. It's my team. Like, am I going to bat for my team? And it's kind of the same concept of when you're playing sports of, I've got 48 hours left. Am I going to pack up at 5 o'clock just because I want to? Or am I going to, say I'm going to dig my cleats in, so to speak, and get the job done? I mean, I think that's part of winning, and it's part of being successful and growing your gyms.
It's amazing. I love it. I feel like, put me in a gym.
Come on, coach. Put me in. I'm ready to go.
Can I put you back in a gym?
Yeah, well, I don't
know. Well, speaking of that, though, you have gone, we took you out as your swan song of one of our gyms, hitting highest numbers, amazing, and you go off into maternity leave, which you're currently enjoying right now. And we hope to bring you back, because towards the end of your tenure at being a manager before that, we went ahead and dabbled in some support responsibilities for you. And you're one of the number 1 names that I hear. I miss Abbie.
Aww.
I'm like chopped liver now, because your ability to champion people and your growth at knowing numbers and strategically making a call that makes someone feel believed in, and they know what their numbers are and now what they should look at, is one of the most impressive things I've seen come out of you. Like, where we say that I decide, we decide, whatever, you're so far on the you decide. I can't wait for you to take my job one day.
Oh.
Cannot wait. But with that said, what do you think within IronTribe? Because again, who knows who's listening to this podcast? It might just be Sam, her husband.
That's true.
Maybe your mama.
Love you, Sam.
If she's not bored today. Your dad's not going to listen.
No,
I'm just kidding. So, hopefully it's people that want to work for us, are currently gym owners, maybe somebody who wants to own a franchise, and they're kind of sitting on the fence of that, right? And they're thinking, maybe I should be an IronTribe, or maybe I should work for IronTribe, or maybe I haven't found this passion of what it is that I want to do. So tell me a little bit about what it is that the advice that you would give to somebody in that position right now.
Yeah, I mean, to the gym owners and the potential franchisees, excuse me, you can't fix what you don't know. And so I wanted to know everything about my gym. I wanted to know every dollar, every cent.
Okay.
I would fixate on it. I would fixate on the numbers. I wanted to know exactly how many protein bags we sold, exactly how many drinks we sold. You can't be a master of anything that you don't know as much about. So when it comes to growing your gyms, if you don't know everything about your gym, it's not going to grow. So you have to know how many people are you meeting with every week? How many people are you upgrading? you have to know your numbers. And so when we talk about the support, and I think why I love that so much, why I love helping our franchisees, is because there's so many things that we can get better at just by unlocking some of the things that like are hidden in the shadows, which is, class schedule. Is there a class out there that only 3 people come to, and you could be getting so much more out of that just because there's a report that you didn't know that could be run? Yep. You know what I mean? So I think the love I have for helping our franchises grow is, the love I have for numbers, and the love I have for seeing, running a report 6 months ago and then seeing the progress. Like, I'm so competitive.
You even argue anymore.
I'm like so competitive with myself of, I think I literally found a way to run reports for like all of IronTribe just because, and it would be like the last day of the quarter, and I wanted to know where we were on the TCS in every scenario, in every section.
Championship series.
Tribe Championship Series, and I wanted to win it, right?
I would get emails at 11 p.m.
Yeah.
with this girl running reports.
Oh, yeah. So I think the love for, franchisees and helping them grow is just based off of, like, there's things that you can do in your business that just might be in the shadows and you're unsure of it yet. And so my goal is to help franchisees unlock that, unlock what they might not be seeing, and then be able to see 6 months down the road, like, just from growing and learning, and that, like, how much more successful they can be.
Just by being intentional. So I know we've got a couple podcasts lined up together, but touch on a little bit, and I'm going off script. We don't have a script.
I knew she'd do this, y'all. I knew she would do it.
But one thing you just brought up is really important. So I think a lot of people think that culture is, if I say we have a great culture, you think it's kumbaya, we're all besties, everybody's just like happy and zen and chilling out. But I think part of our good culture, and I think the word culture has been ruined into literally kumbaya, is we're so competitive, but in a fun way, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so speak to the competitive nature a little bit, because I think that's completely ingrained in our culture, where you would think, we're just kind to each other.
Right.
We smack talk.
Yeah. It's fun. It's more so of like, we're competitive with each other. You can ask Troy Forrest, one of our managers, or really any of the managers, because we went bowling last week, and I was smack talking to the managers about bowling. I bowl once every 5 years. It doesn't matter. Even if I'm terrible, I'm like, I'm gonna trash talk you anyways. It's being a part of a place where you can feel like everyone's on your team, but also is pushing you to be the absolute best version of yourself. And that at the end of the day, they're there for you. They're going to pick up the phone. I think there's a running joke that I call every single one of our managers every day just to talk. It's just such an incredible, I don't think there's like a word you can put on it, because I think any word is going to sound cheesy, but there's an incredible sense of community in the competitive nature that we have. I think that's just partly based off of y'all's leadership, just really hiring the right people, putting the right people in the right seats.
We like to win.
We like to win, and it's just so fun getting together, like the end of the quarter meetings, and we call out the awards, and I've got my finger in Troy's face of like, haha, I got you, but I'm also like your biggest fan. I think that those are just some of the moments at IronTribe that are just so precious. They're awesome.
I love it. So in summation, wrapping this one up, any words of wisdom for anyone who's considering that career change?
Absolutely. I would say,
because you've made 3 here.
Exactly. I would say that it's easy if you feel like you're meant to do it. So like insurance was really hard for me. Okay. Right. It wasn't the place for me. And I don't want to say that coaching was easy or managing is easy. It's all hard. Everything's hard. But it comes so naturally. And I can easily verbalize my love for IronTribe because it's where I'm meant to be. It's where I'm meant to be with these people. It's not necessarily fitness, right? Like you said, fitness is cool. It's not that great. It's fun to see people win. It's fun to have community. If you can't easily verbalize where you're at and why you're doing what you're doing, if you can't easily talk about it, I'd ask yourself why. I would ask myself, am I doing it to, what is your motivation? Are you doing it to, collect paycheck? Some people that's
it's
fine.
Okay if that's
some
but
people that's what they're motivated
about
by.
that.
Right, exactly. But I would say if you're not in a place where you can easily verbalize why you're doing what you're doing and why you're getting up every day and spending the majority of your life at a place, then I would probably, consider that. And if it's not easy for you, then maybe you should make a change.
So in a sentence, why IronTribe for you then, Abbie?
The people.
Okay.
It's the people. I think that y'all have done an incredible job of cultivating and growing the right people.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining me.
Yay!
We're so used to just actually having coffee together. This feels weird. I feel like I need you on my couch. I need you curled up in a chair, or eating breakfast, whatever that looks like. But
we did it.
We did it.
Woo!
I'm so proud of us.
Me too.
Get it, sis.
Good job.
All right. So you'll join Abbie on a couple more episodes, and for now, we out.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.